Hi, I'm Ridge Racer speedrunner FantasticFox, and I'm joined here today with Ridge Racer speedrunner Alzeri28, who is doing a video series in which he's rating all of the almost all of the Ridge Racer music, all the racing music from every single game in the series.
That are real Ridge Racer games.
Yes, all the real Ridge Racer games in the series.
There's an imposter among us. We don't need it.
So, first question, we got to start at the beginning. How did you get into Ridge Racer?
Story kind of interesting. For some people, it's how they get into the game consoles. When I was 7, I got a birthday present from my cousin, and it was a slim PlayStation 1. Yeah, that white one. I still have it, but it no longer works. I used it so much it wore out the disc spinner. Oops. Well, a good piece of hardware. And with it, I got Spyro 1, Formula 199, and you can guess it. First Ridge Racer for PlayStation. And I liked the game. I do. Played it a ton as a child. All those times when parents were limiting your playing time. I was really into playing PC games at that time as well. Like Need for Speed Underground 2 was a big name for me. I was also really into NHL games. So I didn't quite get into Ridge Racer yet there. But that's where it all got started. I really didn't figure, you can't just throttle all the way, because back then I didn't even know that you could brake. I pressed throttle all the way, and I used the yellow solo in every course, so it has the worst handling, like you can't imagine. I beat the TT. I managed to beat TT when there was no devil.
Oh wow, that's really incredible.
Crazy times.
All right. Do you have I think you've played every game in the series, or?
Yeah, I have played every game. I finished all the real Ridge Racer games. Mobile games I never got into playing, but they're not part of this video series for the reasons of it's hard to acquire them. And plus, come on, console games, where is that? I've also tried Unbounded, and who knows, maybe I could try that on stream, but the agony of drifting.
Yeah, I think we're not going to focus on Unbounded too much.
we can mock it, but we will mock it, but we will not focus on it.
So, do you have a favorite? And if so, which one is it? Revolution. All right.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the best at it. So I like things where I'm good at. Okay, but it honestly, even though Ridge Racers 2 for PSP has given it some competition on which is the best for me and found it, but still Revolution, it has a special place in my heart. It's the first one I've completed. That taught me how to complete Ridge Racer 1 as well. It's all thanks to Revolution. I remember my first Ridge Racer 1 completion. I played Revolution because the stats bars were much clearer in it. Like I couldn't read what the hell ever these shapes. I know it's a square, but that diagram I couldn't read in Ridge Racer 1, and then I realized, first that kill all enemies before the game starts. Oh, you get extra cards. Then I figured out how to do it as an 11-year-old, and then. Could you get these same cars in Ridge Racer 1? That I've never seen them in the game. And then, it works. And then we've got like a carrot, finally unlock the devil, and then be all amazed in the first game. But this is the game that taught me everything I needed to know. Like, I still didn't learn drifting too well, but I learned braking. Like, I pretty much mastered it, just use regular braking. And this is still time when I don't have Negicon, don't worry, I didn't get into that until I was I got my first Negicon when I was 18, and oh boy, it got out of hand. It got out of hand then. But yeah, Revolution
All right.
is my favorite.
Revolution was my first, even though I started way back.
I envy you. I only had the YouTube videos to go from, but I already knew that, yeah, I want the game. And when I was 11, when I was visiting Lahti, that's a city that's around 72 kilometers, or how much that's in 45 miles away from my hometown, Järvenpää. So I went to a local game store there called Half Moon Games in English, which the actual name is Puolen Kumpelit, but that's the literal translation. And there I saw it. It was a loose copy in a DVD case. It only cost me €3. I purchased it. And I still have it. I know if I took a few steps I could... Screw it, I'll get it. This is not the only box that has games that are only Ridge Racer, but if the webcam...
Oh wow, yeah, it's just the disc.
This is my first copy of the game. Sadly, my first ever copy of Ridge Racer 1. Let's just say I had an incident with my dad that we didn't quite get along, and he snapped the disc in half basically to punish me from something. Yeah, he did it. He did it to all my.
Oh no!
None of my favorite PlayStation 1 games are my first copies anymore. He's done it to all my favorite games, almost all my favorite games.
Oh wow, that's
like I did something that made me deserve the punishment, sure, but come on, man. It would be, I think it would be 3 years before I could track myself another copy, because I wasn't that good at using internet at the time, and I didn't even have too much opportunity, so I couldn't purchase online. But one of my friends had the game, and I got it from him for €5. But yeah, some childhood trauma there.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
I'm with my dad now, so it's all forgotten. And
oh, that's good.
Maybe forgiven. It's still Ridge Racer.
Okay, so Revolution's your favorite. We got to go the opposite end of the spectrum. Do you have a least favorite? Obviously not counting Unbounded.
Ridge Racer DS, easy. It's easy. There's so much AI BS. The hit detection is very weird. Sometimes it looks like the AI just flies right through you, and you take the hit from the AI's ass. And
I remember not being
64 from the home console is already arguably the worst. From the home console department, it's hard to me to say. 7 is probably the one that I have hardest time to getting into now on the single player department. Once I've completed them, like I probably prefer completing 64 again and again over 7, but 64 also got the same bullshit, but DS cranks all the worst aspects of 64 to max. Easy answer for me. If you've seen me stream the games, you can know from the rage amount. Like, yeah, Rage Racer did 64 DS run for its money, but DS cranks the shit out of it.
All right, so I think you're primarily known for speedrunning Ridge Racer. Is that what got you into speedrunning in the first place?
Nope, that was not the game. It's actually a game or the PlayStation 1 version of the game called Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six. And yeah, it was basically, my former friend of mine suggested me then, you should try it. And I'm like, yeah, there are no runs on the board. Let's show people how it's done. I've done playthroughs on my old YouTube channel, which I will not give you instructions how to find it, because I'm still kind of embarrassed of it. But like, I was initially planning on, I'll focus on Rainbow Six. Like I was meant to be originally a Rainbow Six YouTuber and content creator. But that got me into speedrunning, and then I realized, these times don't look too impressive on the leaderboard. And then I got pretty good PAL times. Like, I started from scratch, and then I Got my POW times pretty low, but then I realized, yeah, I gotta get NTSC to get serious about it. And then I bought NTSC consoles, NTSC copies of the game, and that's also how I really got into collecting the games and also collecting consoles. I have a relatively big collection of hardware. But Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six is where it started. If you look at the oldest video that I have, the first one is my first speedrun of Rainbow Six, which is still my most viewed video. After all this time, it'll probably get passed by the video that I did on Ridge Racer Vita All Cars Japanese version. Like, it'll pass it eventually. It's really on the pace. Not far from it anymore. As my 2654 run is pretty much forgotten now. But that's where it all started.
Oh, that's very cool. I did not know about that.
The more you know. I can toss you up one more fact regarding my analytics, but my biggest audience is Japan. Like, legit. Which weirds me out. Like, back in 2019, it was still USA is my biggest viewership, but no, Japan took over in 2020.
I wonder if that's got something to do with focusing on Ridge Racer.
Yeah, that's very likely. Very, very likely.
So as far as speedrunning, do you have one ultimate goal that you want to achieve at some point?
Sub 15 minutes in Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah, that's the ultimate. Like, I have around 1,500 attempts on the run itself. I mean, the easy difficulty. They recently added the other difficulty levels, but they're only easy to begin with, and that's pretty much the funniest one as well. And I'm basically the one who has discovered all the possible exploits. Like, there's one mission where you're not allowed to get detected by enemies, but there's an exploit if you run through an enemy. Yes, you can do that. There are ways for it. If you run through an enemy when they're in the doorway, right in the doorway, it makes the game, it somehow messes everything up, that the enemies won't register, or the game doesn't register that enemies have actually detected you. So that's the most important exploit in the run itself. It saves you from a glitchless run that has no exploits at all. It saves you 30-40 seconds, so it's a huge time save, and it's that exploit has ruined many good pace runs for me. Like, I've had a run that was probably 12 seconds faster than my current PB is, which is hella good. It's hella good time, but I could be in the territory that I could actually try other difficulty levels as well. But I haven't reached the time that would warrant me to. Okay, now I can do a little bit of other difficulty before I try to make my world record run even more human task. But I'm basically the human task of Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six, and I always pick it up really fast once I try it. But it can be a really frustrating run at times as well. But that's my ultimate goal there, and there's also the 223.3 or 223.2 in the shooting hoops. We all know that.
That's actually what I expected.
Yeah, that's still there. And then perfect run, I still try to figure what's the perfect run in this game's Novice Extra. Like, that's the one I really want to get the perfect, like, on the level it will truly stand the test of time. The current time is excellent. I'm not saying that, but it's not quite perfect. Like, is there a possibility for 35.5, 35.6 lap or something like that? There's still that I'm trying to discover.
Okay. So let's talk about this video series that you're doing.
Sure.
What should we expect from the videos?
You will probably see some unexpected songs right up there, at least in Ridge Racer Vita, and I hope you realize how underrated that game's soundtrack is. You can what else? I'm really just hoping lots of engagement from the community. I want to hear what everyone's thinking, because I want to get a better grasp on what the community actually loves, what is truly beloved. I know something like Sure, Ridge Racer and Grip, they're iconic, and then there is some love towards some R4 songs, and I'm already knowing I'm gonna get killed in R4. I know it. I can say that my interviewer can confirm the fact.
Yep. It's gonna be heated.
Fantastic. Totally what I wanted. It's just my honest opinion, but totally what I want to see.
So obviously they're all going to be great. They're all Ridge Racer music, which we all know and love. But is there one in particular that you're most excited about?
Well, I already said that R4 is absolutely the one that has probably the best performing gameplay is gonna be Ridge Racer 2 and Revolution. But I'm still excited to hear people's opinion on Ridge Racer and Vita, because frankly, those are the two games that I really love their soundtrack. But I really don't know how community thinks about it.
Yeah, Ridge Racer I feel is really underrated and not really something that people talk about very often.
Yeah, like there was nothing mediocre in Ridge Racer.
Oh no, not at all.
I was really surprised. Like I was expecting there would be more songs that I would be a little more but the worst ones, they actually weren't that bad. Like some songs actually grew on me throughout the editing process and making of these videos. But you can expect a little more simplistic editing because that's just my shtick. But at least it should convey clearly that what ranks were, if anything.
Okay, and is it possible you'll be coming back to revisit ranking, doing like a big ranking now that you've kind of had a chance to sit down with all of it and really take some time with it? Do you think that you might come back and do like a top 20 or so, like of all the games?
There are at least two that I plan for sure. Like one I'm probably gonna do next year, because this has been a yearly thing that I do, at least a project like this. Next year I at least want to do best song from each DJ. That's one I would really want to do, and that's the one I'm waiting for the most. And there is the ultimate, there's absolutely the ultimate everything. I'm not gonna promise which year you should expect it to come out, but it's a future thing. Really waiting.
Okay.
And I've been thinking of top 100 maybe? That's something I could also consider. Top 50, like something bigger, because top 10 I've done. Top 10 I've done. But that top 10 could probably use some updates. Like I'm not sure if it would be the exact same as it was back in 2019. But it's not out of reach. Not at all. Then there's only question, include everything or just racing songs. There's always that distinction that you have to make. Because there are some great menu, there are some great intro, there are some great credits music. So
yeah, the
legendary R4 is one that we can always go for.
I was gonna say Ridge Racer 5, the select screen music in that, it's absolutely one of my favorites.
Yeah, and also Ridge Racer 6, the end credits. I can say that's the best credits theme in the series. You can't change my mind on that. It hasn't happened. You won't. It brings me the most smile whenever I hear it. To be fair, R4s get close, and so does Ridge Racer Revolution's second credit, because that was my childhood, but you can't beat that sweet singing lady. I can't remember who's the voice, but you can't beat it. It's the best smile that I get.
All right, well, that's what I had to ask, and I'm very excited for this video series. I'm excited for what people are going to have to say about it, and I didn't know about the prospect of doing the different composers. That sounds really cool. So, a lot of cool stuff on the horizon.
Absolutely, and I'll try to get ideas wherever I can, and I'll try to invent them with my really sluggish brain as well. I have a list of them, and I have a list of different playthroughs that I still could try to do. But yeah, I'll hope to see as many people there once the video series begins. We're 2 weeks away from it, and man, I'm really hyped. I'm just really hyped. No one has ever done it, and it's time to show the entire series all the love it deserves.
I couldn't agree more.
How can I wait 2 weeks? Well, or I mean, I can watch them. I can watch them all myself, but no one else can. The videos are in pre-release state, and I forgot to mention it in the schedule announcement, but I'll use the premiere option for all the videos as many times as my schedule just allows. I know I will probably have some morning a few shootings throughout the schedule because the floorball season will start in October, but I'll really do my best. At minimum, let's premiere Ridge Racer 1 because that's the starting point. And man, once we get to Ridge Racer Vita, there was an alternative plan of waiting until the game is 10 years old. A decade of no real game in the best series ever has almost passed, and there's no even news in sight. But anyways, I'm very thankful that you wanted to do this interview with me, folks. It was really great. I'm always actually really happy to answer questions. Like, when people want to know stuff, I feel like I'm remarkable in a way.
Absolutely.
But anyway, for everyone, thanks for watching this. Get hype, rev your engines, 360 your way on the grid, and I hope to see you there. Bye for now.